Okay, so now we're gonna reassemble the crank, so we're gonna put some oil in there. It's important to lube the bearings. This one in the middle, we can put some on the outside because it's got the guide for lateral guides. That's it. Okay, so I'm gonna replace the all the timing chains, because if you're there, you want to make sure you don't have to redo the whole thing. So this is for the oil pump, this one here. This one goes for the vacuum pump, which is here, and this one is for the hub on the that was here with the crankshaft. When you put back the hub, you need to replace this bolt because it's a serious torque, and that one has to be replaced. Also, you need to put a light touch of oil on the threads, nothing crazy, just a light touch. So we're gonna do this, and then we're gonna put the sprocket and the chain all around. It should pretty much stick together. That's the first step before closing this thing, because we want to have access here. I think we should do right away the second timing chain here. But the other one's got it comes with a guide. So I just want to hook up this thing so it's gonna hold together with the 3 sprockets and the chain. That's gonna help for now. So this is the sprocket for the oil pump. This one goes up there. So now the whole thing holds together. So we installed that thing here to hold in place the it's just like a guide. I don't think it's really needed, but anyway, I got that thing. Now we're gonna put the chain as well as this guide. That special bolt to hold the guide in place. I'm going to check right away the torque for that one, because I think it's a good practice when you put a bolt on that you screw it, you torque it. Okay, so this bolt for the guide, it's got to be torqued at 177 pound inch, not foot, inch. So 177 pound inch. So that's torque. This is done. I'm not gonna put the plug right away. There's a plug that goes here. I'm gonna wait to put the plug on just in case for some reason, but I would doubt that I'm gonna go back there to go play, because I'm gonna put the cover, the lower crankcase, so very unlikely that I'm gonna go play there. So I'm going to install this thing, because when we're gonna turn the engine upside down, I don't want the chain to become slack here and become messy on that sprocket here. Oh, it holds pretty good though, I gotta say. With this, there's this thing here that it's like a spring or something. Something grabs the chain a bit, which is a good thing, but still we're gonna improve our odds. Just gonna put that thing in here. We just have to put the chain in there. And that's got to be... It's gotta be fitted like that. Yeah, that should, altogether, should improve our chances for the chain to stay the way it is. Then I'm going to screw this thing to the maximum by hand. For now, make sure everything holds in place. For now it's going to be good enough, because once this whole thing is going to be set, we're going to screw it. So now I'm going to put oil in the holes of the crankshaft. Make sure they're stuffed with oil, the one on the main bearings. Then I'm going to rotate a bit and put some more, making sure everything is going to be fine. And then we should put the other half of the crank of the block that's going to hold the crankshaft all together. A bit in the groove is maybe better, because some of the holes connect when you put oil in the hole on the main bearing. It connects with the holes on the connecting rods. So anyway, the idea is to have a bit everywhere. It's tough on the thumbs, but a bit of oil is what helped. So, done. Now we're gonna put back this thing. Okay. So we start by the main bolts. These bolts need to be replaced. So we're just gonna put them all in the holes and just tighten them by hand for now, all the way down, for all the main bearings. Okay, so it's 177 inch-pound for the first level of torque. I know it's very little, but that's the way it is. We start with the middle, so we do 1, 2. And then we move on the outside, and so on. So first level done. Then we need to add 70 degrees. So we're gonna use a angle indicator. We're gonna set it up and show you how it's done. The idea is we set that thing with the socket on, right? So we pick up the slack in the direction that we're gonna screw the boat. We set that thing here so it's just above the surface. Then we hold the whole thing. We set the, we hold this right above. Then we can set the 0. Once you got the 0 on, you hold the whole thing and you swing that. You gotta make sure that when you're gonna swing it, the crank cleared. If it doesn't clear, you just swing it down. Then you just swing back 70 degrees, like that. Then we put the wrench in, and then we're gonna torque it till that thing is right on the edge here. That's gonna be 70 degrees. So let's do this. You need to be two. One is gonna hold the engine, the other one is gonna torque. Okay, this is done. Now we're gonna do this one here. Same process. Set the 0. Swing back 70 degrees. Oops. Okay. Swing back 70 degrees. Okay, then we're gonna do same thing here, then here, and so on. We do all of them 70 degrees. Once you're done with one main bearing cap, make a mark so you know where you are, you don't lose your north. Okay, so we're supposed to do this one, but because of the chain, it's a higher, we need to put like extension on the wrench and change the setup of the angle torque indicator. So what we did is we're gonna do this one. It's not gonna affect so much since it's the last row. So we're gonna do this one, then we're gonna finish with this one. To do this boat on that side, what we do normally is we go like that, but because of the gear that works with the crankshaft indicator, when we move it bangs on it, so we just decided to do it on the outside using that edge here. It's going to do the same trick. We had to put one of the long black sockets because otherwise the angle indicator was falling into the back plate for the timing chain for the oil pump. So, and also the block that holds this stick here was falling into the back plate. So instead of looking for that edge, we had to look for that edge. When this thing is gonna reach that edge, we're gonna be at 70 degrees. So we got a torque. First level of torque is 74 pound-feet, and then we're gonna have to make a mark, and it's we had to add 360 degrees. So this is what's gonna happen. Just gonna release this. We're gonna set it up. We go with a 3/4 drive wrench. It's because it's some serious torque. Okay, so now we're gonna put the bolts for the aluminum bolt that go all around here, also inside here. We gotta remember that these two here, they're longer bolts. So also the ones for the crank seal, they are smaller diameter bolt. So we're just gonna put them all in, just pick up the loose in there, and then we're gonna get ready to torque them. So they are aluminum bolt, they need to be replaced. So basically that's what it is. So all the bolts are been pick up the slack, they're just tightened by hand. The torque I found for that is 133 pound-inch, not feet, but inch. So we got to do these. We're gonna start to the middle, going toward the outside, some principle on both sides. We're gonna keep these two here for the last, the two longer bolts. They're the same torque as these ones. Also these ones, the smaller one on both sides, this side and the other side. For the crank seal, there are smaller bolts. It's a different torque for these one. We're gonna do these at the end. The torque for those are 89 pound-inch, and all of these bolts after the first torque, they need to be turned an extra 90 degrees. So we do the first torque first, and then we end up with the 90 degree. So wash, rinse, and repeat for all of those 90 degree. Really important to mark your bolts once they're torqued, because otherwise you won't be able to know where you are. There's so many of those. Yeah. So we finished by the two small ones. 90 degree on those. So now we gotta put the nozzles. One goes right here. So we need to put them in. It's a bit of a press fit. We need to go with a hammer and a punch. So it's time to put the crank seal in place. So it's a homemade tool with an aluminum flat bar. So we just screw both sides into the crank. This is the pulley side. We make place for the bolts to go through, because otherwise the tool won't be able to be installed. screw the tool over the plastic guide, and then we're gonna put the cup on it. We have to align the there's it's hard to see, but there's like 2 grooves on the side of the seal. These grooves got to be aligned with the split of the crankcase. We had to make a cutout because the tool was not going deep enough, and it's like the bolts were too much on the tip, and we didn't want to strip the threads on the crank where the pulley is going to be installed. That's very nice. Okay, transmission side now. Oh, by the way, this is my cup is I got a kit with cups for bearings, but I didn't have one big enough. So what I did, I bought this thing. The white thing is it's just a plumbing fitting, which was the right dimension. It was $3 ish. So it's gonna be good enough to push it in. This one as well, you need to line up the marks here. With the split. Okay, so now the idea is to shoot some sealant inside the nozzle here. It goes inside and gonna follow the groove up to both crank seal on each end. So we gotta do one side until it leaks, then we do the other side. Once it's leaking, you gotta put that thing, it's like paint somehow, you gotta put it here. It's gonna stop leaking once you do it. So this tube here, I made this tool to like a silicone gun to squeeze that thing out with a thumb screw while holding it in place there. So you push it against the engine block as you screw the bolt, the thumb screw. Once it's leaking, you need to paint the thing with the this is gonna freeze it and stop the leak. So you make sure it leaks on both hands, and after that here you clean that beside the nozzle, whatever you leak there. That's it. Okay, now it's time to install the crank sensor. So I'm replacing all the O-rings. I want to have a peace of mind. So this is a brand new O-ring. Just sliding it in, sliding it on. One thing that works good also with O-rings is to lubricate them, to slide them where they go. So I like to do something like that. They're less likely then to grip and break. So you put just a little touch of oil on it. So just make sure that the outside of the O-ring is full of oil. Then it's just a matter of sliding it where it belongs. So you push it on. If it doesn't cooperate, you can put the flat screwdriver very close to the connector and push. But we heard it click, so we know it's good. And then we just put the screw on, the bolt, to hold it in place. And that's all about it. So I'm just gonna torque this, and you're done. Okay. we're going to reinstall this bracket that was here for, don't remember if it was for the knock sensors or the, I think it's for the knock sensors, or else it would have been for the fuel pump or vacuum pump. Here we have the knock sensor. We just the crank sensor we just installed. So I'm gonna have to torque that later on. Now we're gonna put the knock sensors in place. Okay, so this is rear. Here we go. That is the front one. Nope, that's not what's going there for sure. I'm just going to double check the angle on which they are supposed to be installed, and then torque them in place. Then I need to torque this one. We're going to put back this plastic plug that plugs the hole to line up the crankshaft for top dead center cylinder 1. So here you got the hole, we're on the intake side, you got the hole for the starter. So we just need to put that thing here, back there, and we're just gonna cap it in. Done. I'm about to put back the pins. I just want to make sure they don't have any burr. Whatever pin I remove, I'm gonna put it back. So you just go smoothly with a smooth file. Just try to take the burrs out. So these goes, there's one that goes here in the corner. So we're just gonna hammer it down. And then there's another one that goes right here. Same process.